Hi, I'm BryCox with BryCoxWORKSHOPS.com. For today's video, it's from a photographer who was wanting to buy a computer. She wants to know what kind of computer to get. But before we get into that answer, let's just talk about quickly things you can do. Things you can do right now, you guys. You can subscribe to this video, like it, whatever. Share it to photographer friends. And also keep in mind, I have full courses on lighting, photo workflow, sales, business, all that kind of stuff is on my website. Basically like a live workshop, but everything is in like video form at BryCoxWORKSHOPS, BryCox Workshops.com. All right, so this photographer, she is working off a laptop and is debating getting something else and wants to know what to get. So my number one recommendation is, if you're a photographer, don't work off a laptop. Don't work off a laptop. Now, obviously, she's already has a laptop and she's thinking about getting something else. But she kind of mentioned she's maybe thinking of getting another laptop. First of all, I think the feeling of working anywhere on a laptop is kind of dissipating a little bit with iPhones and iPads, where people actually do a lot of work on iPhones and iPads. But the idea of a laptop was, I can work anywhere. Look at me. Sit down in the park, and now you're working. Or go to the beach, now you're working, right? I don't think people really do that. If anything, you've got like a desk and a laptop, and that's where you focus your work on. And then maybe occasionally you shut it and take it with you on an out-of-town gig, which is really handy to have a laptop out of town. But other than that, here's the thing. I recommend getting like an iMac or something with a big screen. Especially as a photographer, you need to see your images big. You need to make sure that everything's crisp, in focus, clear. It's really hard on a little laptop to kind of be leaning in and like squinting and trying to zoom in on faces and work on this little screen. It doesn't really work very well. It's really hard, especially like when I speak and I have a projector and I'm plugging into a laptop. I'm so used to this great big screen here in my studio, and I actually have a couple in like a bank where I just have slowly keep adding on and keep getting more and more. And then I go to a projector, in some out-of-town gig, and I got this little laptop, and I can't see the images as well. I can't, and I have awesome eyes. Don't think I don't, America. I have good eyes, but it's not that. It's just that I'm so used to seeing these images big, and now I have to like zoom in. And suddenly my workflow decreases. It goes down because I have to take a little bit longer with every image, making sure everything looks good. It doesn't work. So first, number one computer you need, something big. I recommend Macs. And now this photographer saying, but I don't want to spend a lot of money. So here's my next recommendation is, don't buy it new. Now here's the problem with buying used. Don't get suckered into some used computer on some weird website like Craigslist that says, get this computer already preloaded with software. Nope. The first thing you want to do is wipe that computer, completely reformat the hard drive, and the first thing I do when I sell a computer is wipe the hard drive and completely reinstall the operating system from scratch. And it's not that techy of a thing to do. It's actually pretty easy on a Mac, but I just want to make sure that when someone gets a computer from me, that it opens up and it just plays like new and there's no little files left on it. And the same thing, when I get somebody's computer, I don't want any little weird files. It could be malicious. It could not be malicious. I don't know. I just want to know that everything that's on that computer is mine and it's meant to be on there, and there's nothing that's not meant to be on there. So my best way to buy a used computer, this is my favorite way, is just buy it refurbed from Mac, right there from Apple. So if you go to the Apple website, you go clear to the bottom, there's a little mini menu at the very, very bottom of the screen, and one of them says refurbed. You click on that, and then you can shop things like iPads, computers, and you can shop by those things. And what I'll do is I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a lot of RAM. I like Fusion drives or SSD drives because I kind of like the Fusion drive currently, but I really like the SSD drive because I like it to run fast. And here's the thing, like when I bought my last camera, the files were about 4 times bigger than my previous camera. So suddenly my whole computer system and workflow just dropped down. And every single time I had to open a file, switch to a window, save a file, everything got slower. And so that the idea is That amount of time multiplied throughout a day was horrendously long. It just made my whole day longer. And what you want to do is be done quicker, faster, and you want that computer to be responsive and work as fast as you can think. If all you're doing is writing articles, you don't need the fastest computer. If you're surfing the internet, you don't need the fastest computer. But if you are every day, all day, working on photographs, crunching these big files, you need a fast computer, a lot of RAM, and a big hard drive. So I go, I want the biggest iMac, biggest screen, I want all of the specs up, and I just look for that. And when I see it, if I like that price, I get it. And what's nice buying it refurbed is that you still get the warranty directly from Apple, but you also get a big discount on the computer. And it might be a month old or a few months old. I don't care. Doesn't have to be the absolute newest machine. And then the other thing is research, find out if it's a machine that you can put your own RAM in. Because like a lot of times, those refurbished ones, you can't add RAM at the time. But a lot of times even adding RAM right at the point of sale, it's going to be expensive. But if you can go to Crucial, which is Idaho-made RAM, and it's a really dang good brand, you can return it if you don't like it. Something happened, I don't know what happened. Okay, but I'll tell you what, here's the thing. You can get your own RAM. You can go to Crucial, which is Idaho-made RAM, and then you can just make sure you get a computer that's upgradable by you, a user upgradable computer for RAM. Some computers will be like, it's soldered in there for kind of keep the price down. But as long as you can upgrade the RAM, you can go to Crucial, you can get cheaper RAM, load that computer up. Like right now, my computer is 32 gigs, and then I'll simply just move that computer to the side, get another computer as it gets a little slower, and then I've got a couple machines I can work, and I can move it to the side again, and then, or sell it, whatever it is. But you can slowly kind of add computers over time and kind of delegate some of that work out to some of these other machines, and as one person, you can become really, really productive. And then keep that laptop if you want, and just use it for those times you need to back up your files when you're out of town. Okay, America, if you have any questions, send them to me. My website, BryCoxWORKSHOPS, BryCox Workshops.com. All right, until next time, America.